Hey guys, no introduction, we're getting right down to business today because it is a long battle. This is me versus Alex from Abra's Asylum, and I see the lead Jirachi and I'm thinking he's either going to trick or he's going to do the Iron Head thing, so I go into why so serious. And yeah, I take the Iron Head really well because he should. And I go for the trick here, because I don't want the Flame Orb anymore, but he goes into Heat Ran, so it's not going to affect him. But he's not going to have his leftovers, which is pretty good. So I go into Kingdra knowing I can take anything he can throw at me, unless he's got Dragon Pulse. I'm hoping he doesn't. He goes for the sub, and I just Waterfall there, and he is going to Earth Power to get some damage on me. But it's not going to do too much, and I'm just going... I know he's going to switch into a counter or something, so I'm just going to yawn on the switch. And I get the Scarm, which is awesome, and I'd love to put that thing to sleep, but I think he's going to switch again, so now I'm going to Dragon Dance up. And I do that, and he brings in Jirachi. And I'm like, poo, he's probably just going to trick, and so, but I stay in, because I'm thinking, hey, maybe I could do some damage with a +1 Waterfall and +2 speed. And I do a lot to the Jirachi, not quite enough, and he's going to switch out an Immense, and he gets the Intimidate off, and I'm like, oh, bummer, that's not going to do anything. And it doesn't. So now I got to switch out, and he's going to get to set up a little bit, and that makes me sad, but I got Frostlass, and he doesn't have any hazards up, so I know if he attacks me I can KO it with the Ice Beam. So he withdraws into Edward, which is his Sizer, and I'm like, oh, I don't want any part of Sizer right now. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out my Frostlass into Heatron. And he's going to Bullet Punch, and that's going to do absolutely nothing at all. So I am going to set up... I think I set up my sub here on his switch. He goes into Latias. Yes, I got my sub up, and now I'm gonna roar. I'm gonna roar him out. Normally I would have hazards up, but I just haven't had a chance to get around to him. And I see Mence, and that sucks. I can't do anything to him, and I know he's gonna break my sub, but I'm just gonna roar him out because I don't want to see him. So he's gonna break my sub here, and I'm gonna roar, and that's gonna be good fun. And he's gonna have Jirachi in here now, and what did I switched because I thought that he would go into Mence again, but he stays in and he sets up Stealth Rocks, which is a great play. I wanted to bluff the speed of my Latias and make him switch out, and so I could Psycho Shift the burn onto somebody else, but he doesn't do that, and he U-turns out and he gets a crit, and I'm like, oh, bugger. And that really shouldn't have KO'd, because that is a really bulky Latias. So he sends in his Scarm, and I send in my Gliscor because I want to set up the rocks and shock him a little bit and set up a Sword Stance. He's setting up spikes, and those spikes are really going to do me in later, and I just didn't think they'd be that big of a problem. So I get the Sword Stance up, and I do the Stone Edge thing, and it does an okay amount, I guess, but just not enough. This Scarm's just really the bane of my existence. This is the most trouble I've had with a Scarm in a long time, but he's going to switch out on the Heat Ring, because he's gotta. And I'm just gonna roar, I think. That would make the most sense, because I thought he would go into Mence, and now he's got Sizer out. And I think this is the part where I predict that he thinks I'm gonna roar, and I go for the Fire Blast, as he tries to stay in and do a fighting type move to me. And it works, and I gotta pat myself on the back here. This is actually a really good battle. And I think we both make a lot of great plays, but we'll see what happens in the end, shall we? He goes into Salamence, and I'm like, oh, I gotta switch out now. And I go into Frostlass, maybe as fodder. Well, yeah, just to get something out there. But he ends up not KOing it, and I'm like, oh, that is titties. So I'm just gonna go for the Ice Beam. But he has the heat ran. I'm like, oh, that sucks. So I think that he was going to try to set up his sub again, so I go ahead and taunt him. And I did the finger motion while I said that. And then I go for the Destiny Bond, but he switches out into Jirachi. I really wanted to take that heat ran down. But he brings in Jirachi. I'm just going to Destiny Bond it again, because I think that he's just got a U-turn or something, or switch. And he does, so I take down the Jirachi, which is, at least it took down something. So I go back into Kingdra, figuring he's scarfed now, and he is, he can make plays. So he goes into Latias, and I just go straight for the outrage. But forgetting that he had Skarm, I figured my outrage could probably sweep the team, because I figured that an outrage would even hurt his Heatran enough to probably to hit KO it. And God, it's really annoying. Somebody's like banging on the wall. So I go for that other outrage there, just kind of hoping for crits, but I don't get it. And I'm going to switch out into Heat Ran. And I'm going to take a massive amount from the spikes and the rock. And it's just going to suck. But he whirlwinds the out, predicting that. And that was such a good prediction by him. That was a great play. And so I got Gliscor out. And I go for the Stone Edge, thinking it's neutral damage. You just go for it. It does nothing. And you drill picks. And that's going to do, an okay amount, but, I go for the Stone Edge again, hoping for, the crits, and I get whirlwinded out, and Heatran comes back out, and that's just awesome for me right now. Now, here's where I just really gotta outplay him to keep this Heatran alive. I'm gonna roar him out, as he is expecting the Fire Blast, so I get Latias out of there. Now he's got Skarm back in, and what do I do now? I'm not gonna do what you think I'm gonna do, because I think I could probably live a drill peck. I'm just gonna go for the roar. But he switches out into his own Heat Ran. And that is awesome. So, another great play. And he's got his Latias out. And right now I'm thinking, there's no way he thinks I'm gonna stay in again. So what do? I go ahead and roar. And his Heat Ran comes right back out, and now I'm gonna do the unthinkable and Earth Power that son of a bitch. So this Heat Ran is dominating here. It's doing its job, and it's doing it really well. And I'm right back up to like around halfway health, but not quite. And Mence is taking a beating from the rocks, which is just great. And I don't have anything to really take on that earthquake, so I just have to fodder it. So now I think I go right back into I go into Sizer. That's right. I need to test out this. The whole point of this video, team. I'm testing out this Sizer. It really didn't do much today, but I predicted the switch and I sub up, and now I can hit the Skarm, but I can't hit it hard enough because all I got is break. And I'm thinking Superpower might be a good investment on this team. Goodness sake. Anyways, he roofs off the damage, and that's just going to be a pain in the booty. So I'm going to break again, knowing that he's just going to whirlwind me out. And I get a crit, which is kind of nice, but it's really irrelevant because you can't hit it hard enough. So Gliscor comes back in, and I'm just going to go for the Stone Edge because it's neutral. There's nothing I can do. I just miss, he drill pecks, and I get taken out. So now, just bummer, just a big bummer. So I go into Kingdra, and I know he thinks I'm gonna go for the waterfall, so I don't do that. I go straight for the outrage, and I KO the Latias. So now I've got Sizer in Kingdra, and he's got Mence and Skarmory, and I'm like, just if I could get something done on this Skarmory, I could pull off a win. But you know what, I can't. I'm locked in the outrage. Sizer can't come in and do any damage. I am just effed in the A, and that's just, that's all there is to it. I can't do anything. I'm stuck. So, as you could probably predict, Alex here is going to pick up the win because he whirlwinds me out, brings in Sizer. Kingdra can't come in because he'll get just damaged by all the hazards. I can't do anything here. I meant to go for the bullet punch just because whatever, and I accidentally hit sub, so he whirlwinds me out, and that's gonna KO Kingdra, and then Sizer's gonna get KO'd when he re-enters. So I want to say, good game, Alex. Just couldn't get over that Skarmory hump. It is just a tank. Rate, comment, subscribe. Check Alex out. See you later.